How to mastermind to scale your business and stay positive. Last October, I took some women on a retreat on a cruise ship to spend a week together. And the topic was how to thrive with women's retreats. We had education programming, we did activities, excursions. We had a wonderful time together. One day I said to the gals, hey, why don't you come to my cabin this afternoon? I always get a mini suite because it has a sitting area so we can all fit. And I said, let's mastermind for 90 minutes before we go to dinner. The ladies came. They stayed for 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours. We ordered dinner in. We shared ideas. They asked each other's opinions. They asked what resources they were using. They chatted about all things business and related. At the end of the week, I said to the gals, hey, what did you enjoy the most about our time together? The answer was clear. It was the masterminding they enjoyed the most. And this put a little light bulb in my head. And that's when I created our first mastermind adventure we're doing next year for women podcasters, speakers, and business leaders. Here's why. I have seen 100,000 times the power of masterminding. Today, I'm going to share with you what you can do to create your own masterminds, and also what are the key ingredients of masterminding to make a mastermind super successful. Now, this is also important for you if you're looking for mastermind opportunities to bliss and thrive more in your business. And here's a really exciting thing I want you to know. The key ingredients for having a successful mastermind, they are exactly the same key ingredients as you will want to embrace to achieve mastery in your business. Bing, bing, bing. Just the other day, I am teaching my class on how to thrive at sales. It's a 12-week program I offer. One of the gals in there, she has a very successful business. She's sold over $1 million in her business. She is super smart. And we're talking about the pre-call. Everything that you do before you actually get on the phone with a potential client. And I was talking about something very simple. I said, before you get on the phone with someone, make sure you have all your links ready. Link to your free resources, link to your next workshop, link to any program you might be discussing, link to your social platforms, and have them all on one page so that you just grab and put in the chat any links or cut and paste. Any page you might ever go to with a potential client on a sales conversation is right there at your fingertips. And she says to me, Katerina, why did I never think of this before? I'm always fumbling around for links. Now, my friends, that is a super simple, super tip. However, we don't know what we don't know. We haven't thought about what we haven't thought about. Also, the other day, on Monday, last Monday, because I teach many of my classes on Mondays, I'm teaching my Expand Your Fempire year-long mentorship program and mastermind. These are very successful businesswomen in this program who have been in business for years, who are having their own teams, who are thriving. And we're talking about the intimate intro. Now, before I continue, let me tell you what an intimate intro is. An intimate intro is when one of your friends or colleagues, usually a VIP client, invites their friends or clients or colleagues to a special exclusive event, either in a Zoom room or it could be at an on-the-ground location. And the beauty of the intimate intro is that the hostess, or sidebar super tip alert, you could also have multiple hostesses for an intimate intro. They are exclusively inviting anyone they would like to attend. You're not posting on Facebook, you're not sending out an email. It's done all through personal invitations. And you, as the guest speaker or guest presenter, all you have to do is show up, do a workshop, do your magic, answer questions, sometimes host a impromptu mastermind with who's ever there. And then as a result, you invite whoever is in the room to join you for your next workshop or your next program, or you invite them to have a conversation with you. And the hostess, she gets a commission because she put new smiles on the screen or new derrieres and chairs in front of you. This is a strategy I've been using for 15 years. I've got women in my community right now that were introduced to me many years ago through an intimate intro. I've got gals that are still collecting commissions 8, 9 years later. I'm discussing the intimate intro with my VIP clients in my elite mastermind. And a gal, super successful, brilliant in her business, she says to me, Katerina, how come I never thought of this? She's very excited. She's scheduled to do a intimate intro that I get to speak at in a couple of weeks. And here's the thing. I love to talk about the intimate intro. I must have talked about it 10 times to these ladies. But on this particular day, this conversation was heard in a whole new way by that fabulous gal. And I'm sharing this with you because masterminding, where women are learning from other women, where women are sharing, where you might be really great at some things and other gals are really great at other things or have more experience at other things, and you get together and you connect and you share ideas. Now, why this is good for your business is because sometimes we think we have to know everything about everything to teach anything. Like next year, I'm hosting my Amp Up Adventure for women podcasters, speakers, and business leaders. I have a podcast. We've recorded almost 150 episodes. It's called Expand Your Fempire. It's info-packed. I encourage you to listen to the Expand Your Fempire podcast. But I certainly do not consider myself a podcasting expert. I know a lot of gals that are experts at podcasting. Well, I'm not showcasing myself as a podcasting expert. I'm the convener. I'm the producer, the facilitator of this event, and I will bring some experts at launching a podcast and expanding your podcast reach and monetizing your podcast. They'll be invited. I'll simply be the facilitator or the conductor. Now, this is important for you to know, because if you're thinking, well, I'd like to do a mastermind on health, or I'd like to do a mastermind on a healing, or I'd like to do a mastermind on networking. Well, often women don't get going because they figure they don't know everything about every aspect of the subject. And I'm telling you, my friend, you don't got to know everything about everything. You can be the convener. Even in my Thrive at Sales program, it's a 12-week program. I teach 10 of the weeks. And I bring Jennifer Darling in to be the LinkedIn expert 1 week. I bring Diana Morgan in to be the social media expert for selling 1 week. Because even though I know a lot about LinkedIn and I know a lot about social media, I think I don't know everything there is to know. And that's why I bring in a specific subject matter expert. Now, I want you to really reflect on this for your business, because you may have something you want to do, but you're not getting going because you think you don't know everything about every aspect of it. That's okay. You simply need friends that do. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, I hope that you and I are on the same page. Let's take a deep breath. Because now I want to talk to you about the special key ingredients needed for having an amazing mastermind. Also important for you to look at when you're considering participating in an amazing mastermind. Let me sidebar first. Often gals say to me, Katerina, I have taken so many sales classes or speaking classes or whatever class it is. And I'm very glad that you've taken lots of classes. Here's what I want you to know, though. The woman you were before is a different woman than the one you are today. When I was 19, I went to fashion school for a year. I loved fashion school. I loved learning about the history of fashion. I loved learning about all the different textiles. My favorite class, though, was the sales class. Do you think at 19 that was the last sales class I ever took? No, I've taken many. Many of them taught me stuff that doesn't really work for women, that didn't feel good, which is why I've really put my focus on teaching women who sell to other women, because we don't want to be salesy. We don't want to be sold. We certainly don't like scripts. We don't respond well to pain points. Okay, that's another workshop for another day. You probably have a commitment to personal growth and learning and development because you're listening to this right now. What I want you to recognize, though, is there's something called the myth of the seminar. We take a class. It might be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We learn a bunch of stuff and we think, okay, bing, bing, this is going to change everything. I remember I took a self-defense class. It was 4 weeks, fabulous class. I might remember 1 or 2 things in a moment, but because I wasn't focused on it for months and months and involved in self-defense situations, really don't remember much. Learning and awareness is only the first ingredient to create massive change and to create mastery. Now, I strongly encourage you to include learning and awareness. Awareness is when somebody realizes something they didn't realize before. It could be about themselves or about technology, or like, oh, I didn't know about that. I remember I was teaching a class many years ago, and one of the women in the class, she brought her daughter to the class. Daughter was fabulous, super smart. And I would start to say something in class, and she would say, there's an app for that. There's an app for that. She must have said it 5 times. The thing is, she knew about the apps because she was on top of it way back when. I didn't know, the other gals in the class didn't know. So awareness is absolutely a great thing. And learning is equally as great. However, it's only the first ingredient to create mastery and to create massive change, and the first ingredient needed to have a phenomenal mastermind. By the way, today I really wanted to focus on masterminding because it is key. I want to be very clear though. These ingredients that we're discussing right now for successful masterminding, these are also the exact same ingredients for your group program to be awesome and amazing. And like you, since I started my business 31 years ago, I've been in a lot of group programs with other coaches, consultants, mentors. Some have been more amazing than others. I've learned in some of them what not to do. So be listening here for the key ingredients I want to make sure that you are including. Okay. Learning and awareness, number one. Second thing, ongoing guidance. That's the thing. We have to have a place where we can practice what we've learned in life and then come back to that place and talk about what worked and what didn't work, to continue to nuance more towards mastery. Ongoing support and ongoing guidance where we're learning the next level, the more advanced stuff. We're not getting it all in one pop, which is, again, back to the myth of the seminar. You put too much in and then people feel overwhelmed. We don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed. Ongoing support. And by the way, ongoing support is also the emotional aspect. You know, we don't talk enough about mindset. Mindset is a key aspect of your success and your client's success. And what are you doing to support them with the emotional side of business? You know, I'm all about, let's take our depresso and our distraught and our disappointment and let's turn them into determination. Well, determination is a skill that we can cultivate. And the more we talk about it, the more we can focus on it and do that. Ongoing support, ongoing guidance. The next thing is a structure. A structure. We're going to meet every week. We're going to meet every 2 weeks. We're going to meet every quarter. I have a client who does a fabulous retreat for women in the spring, and she does another one in the fall. And then between the spring retreat and the fall retreat, she has calls with the gals in between so that they have a structure to keep focused, to build momentum, to stay in action. I was thinking to myself the other day, I have my manuscript for my Expand Your Fempire book. It's on my desk. I've chipped away at it a little bit, but it's been there for months. Why? I don't have a structure where I'm meeting with someone about it and reporting. I don't have an accountability buddy where I'm saying, okay, I'm going to get through chapter 1 or chapter 2 or chapter 3. So it's going very slow. And this is the other thing why accountability and structure is so important, because structure gives accountability. Okay, my friends, what are you going to do before we get together again? That's accountability. What actions are you going to take based on our time together today and report back next week? That's accountability. Accountability is awesome because, as I've just shared with you, when we're simply being accountable with ourselves, it doesn't always happen. Okay. Awareness and learning, first thing. Ongoing support, next thing. Ongoing guidance, next thing. A structure that creates accountability. And there's 2 more key ingredients that I want to make sure you're including in the mastermind and group programs you're creating, but also in any one that you're looking at. The next one is enthusiasm. I've got this guiding principle for life that I want to share with you. I intend that every time I talk to anybody, from the person I'm booking an appointment with on the phone, to my UPS or my mailman, to a potential client, to a friend, to my mother and father, who are 91 and 92, who I love so much. Anytime I'm talking to anybody, my intention is that they leave the conversation more uplifted than before the conversation began. This is a wonderful attention I encourage you to embrace in your life. Here's what happens though. Not only do they leave more uplifted, I leave more uplifted too. And when I'm running my group programs, every time we have a meeting, every time I'm running my mastermind, it is my intention that everyone leaves more uplifted than when they showed up. Now, this is so important because many of us work from home these days. I talked to a lovely gal who works from home. She said she barely leaves her house. Now, she actually is blissing in her business because she has so much positive virtual interaction with her clients and her community. Ongoing encouragement is another important part of you thriving, and enthusiasm is part of that. Ongoing support, ongoing guidance, ongoing enthusiasm and encouragement for what your gals are up to, what the other people in the group are up to. And I'm going to invite you to amplify your encourage and your enthusiasm in every conversation so everybody leaves more uplifted than when they showed up. And I just touched on the last key ingredient: community. Community is the best thing of life, in my opinion. I remember when the pandemic started, right away, I started doing community meetings, all community meetings with all of my clients. We had already started 3 months before we knew the pandemic was coming. We started virtual networking once a month. We did the virtual networking. We added the community meetings. I took different hot topics, how to stay positive during the pandemic, how to stay motivated, how to stay in action. And many women shared with me that these meetings were so important to them at that time. And now we can be out and about again in life. Have you continued to have amazing community in your life? And this is one of the huge values that you, as a mentor, as a coach, as a business leader, as a podcaster, that you can bring to people that resonate with you. And I want to encourage you to look at how are you cultivating community through your business. Yesterday, we did what I call a Purge-a-Palooza with my community. Purge-a-Palooza is when we meet on Zoom for 90 minutes. We all share some aspect of purging that we want to do in our life, purge our emails. I've got 2 Dropbox accounts from years back with tons of stuff in them. I was purging my Dropbox accounts, purging your closets, purging your kitchen, whatever you're not getting to. We met, we said what we were going to do. We checked in the middle of the mid-time. We checked in at the end. We celebrated our accomplishments. So much more backing up because I just made a speech snafu. so much more fun than if we were purging all by ourselves. That's an example of community. How are you embracing community in your business? How are you amplifying community in your business? And also, how are you showcasing other leaders in your client community to support them in building themselves up? We do something, I do monthly networking with my clients. We call it Thriving Business Boost. And we now do what we call a Insta speaker spin, where we spin the wheel, it lands on somebody's name, and they get to speak for 7 minutes. And we pick 3 Insta speakers through the spin every time we meet every month. That's another example of showcasing gals in our community. I have other gals in our community host our blitzes. We have all community blitzes 3 times a month where we can focus on sales or getting booked for speaking or doing some strategy. And as a result, more gals get to host or co-host, which is so fun. I'm going to ask you, how are you using the talent in your community? Next April, when we have our Amp Up Mastermind cruise, all the women that come are going to be the experts on the ship because there will be so much talent. Okay, let's take a deep breath. We've talked about awareness and learning. We've talked about ongoing support and ongoing guidance. We've talked about a structure that creates focus and momentum, provides accountability. We've talked about ongoing enthusiasm and encouragement for your clients and what they're up to. And we have talked about community. Are you having all of these ingredients in your mastermind offerings, in your group programs? Are you looking for all of this when you are choosing to participate? I'm hoping so. And I want to say a little bit more about mastery before, my friend, I let you get back to your amazing business and life. There's 5 areas that you have to develop mastery in. I call these the 5 pillars of your fempire. Speaking in the broad sense of the word, public speaking, podcasting, doing videos. You're the spokesperson for your business. Speaking, selling, unless you have a bunch of people in a cubicle with headsets selling for you, look in the mirror, sweetheart. There she is. Now, I would like you to have sales support eventually, and maybe there will be a time where you can have others selling for you. But for the most part, that is on you. Speaking, selling, strategy. You decide what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how often you're going to do it. You decide what the price is, right? Speaking, selling, strategy. Oh, serving your clients. You want to provide excellent, outstanding client care and client service. And the last one is self-care. Self-care. If you can't have great self-care, you can't be of great service. Now, I'm reminding you of this, my friend, right now, because those are 5 areas you don't just have to focus on, you have to master. And I'm hoping you're getting support with all of the other things in your business, even marketing. I didn't say marketing. Your job is marketing strategy, not all the marketing implementation. Your potential clients don't care who made the flyer or built the website or did that fancy graphic. Not your job. You got 5 jobs, big jobs. Go and master them. I have done over 300, probably closer to 400 group programs and masterminds and retreats I have led. These things that we've discussed have made them all bringing massive value. Now, you might feel or think I'll get to that in my business. I'll host a retreat in the future. I'll host a group program in the future. I'll host a mastermind down the road after I, have more experience and I get more under my belt. And I'm saying to you, my friend, if you have the desire, get busy now. I remember one day I was leading a program on how to do women's retreats, one of my favorite things to talk about. And one of my clients comes over to me and she says, Katerina, I love this idea. I love this idea of doing a retreat. And I'm going to do a 1-day yoga retreat at my house. And I'm going to do that in 6 months. And I said, no, my friend, you are going to do that 1-day yoga retreat in your house in 6 weeks. And because she was a high achieving woman, she took my challenge. By the time the 6 months rolled around, she had done 6 retreats. She loved doing every single one of them. She had 6 times more revenue and 6 times more mastery. And here's the thing about mastery. You've heard your friend, my hypothetical friend, Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote the book Outliers. You've heard him say it takes 10,000 hours to get to mastery. I think that's a very depressing number, 10,000. But here's what I want you to know. Every hour in gets you 1 hour closer to mastery. Not every hour of research or every hour of mulling it over in your brain or every hour of asking Mary Jane and Sheila what they think. No, mastery comes from doing it. And I encourage you to get your party started right away so that you will be closer to mastery. Because here's the other thing I've learned about mastery. The closer you get, the more it moves. There's always another level of mastery. You, my friend, have massive value to bring. There is a lifetime supply of people to serve. I invite you to get your party started today. Get in action. By the way, all you need is a date, a time, a price, and a topic. And as soon as you start to talk to gals about it, and the first gal says yes, you will figure it all out. I invite you to have a conversation with me about supporting you to build your fempire, to master your sales, to master your speaking. And you, of course, are invited on our Amp Up adventure. Even though it's not till next April, we are almost half full today. And the cabins are on sale right now, and the ship will sell out. And by the way, because you know I value community, we have several things we're offering in addition for anyone that's coming. Our speaker summit, our Fempire Summit, our 3-week masterclass on thriving with women's retreats, and our 3 connection pre-calls. So you'll get to know all the amazing gals on the ship. Let's amp up your business. Let's build your fempire. And I can't wait for us to connect again. Thank you.